Welcome to your SST class. I am your SST teacher. So, today we are going to study a very interesting topic of SST, that is the Mughal Empire. As we know that Mughal Empire was started with the advent of Babur. He came to India in 1526 and he came to India when he was invited by Daulat Khan Lodhi and Rana Sanga of Mewar to invade Delhi. They were of mind that Babur will invade Delhi and go back to Central Asia, and they will conquer Delhi by defeating Ibrahim Lodi. But things did not fall like this. Babur invaded Delhi by defeating Ibrahim Lodi in the Battle of Panipat that was fought in 1526. Now we will understand the life history of Babur. He was born on 1483 and he became king of Fargana, a place near Samarkand in Central Asia at a very young age of 12. After fighting the Battle of Panipat with Ibrahim Lodi, he captured Delhi. Now he thought of capturing the kingdom of Rana Sanga also. So he fought a battle in 1527, famously known as Battle of Khanwa with Rana Sanga, where he defeated Rana Sanga and he also captured his territory. Now he was unstoppable and he went on to conquer Bihar as well as Bengal, which was ruled by Afghan chiefs. So in 1528 he fought two battles. One was to take over Rajputs and second was to take over Bihar and Bengal. In 1528 he won both of the battles. Now his kingdom extended from north to east, that is Bengal and Bihar, and he was died in 1530 CE. His rule was quite very small. Now after Babur, his son Humayun conquered or acquired the throne of Delhi. The name Humayun has a meaning that means fortunate. But Humayun was not that fortunate. His relatives and his own brothers were against him because they were very jealous of him. His rule can be divided into two parts. One was from 1530 to 1540 and second time period was 1555 to 1556. As I have told you that his own brothers and relatives, other step brothers, they were very jealous of him, though he treated them very well. In 1534, he captured Gujarat and Mewar. Before that, in 1532, he fought a battle of Junnar. It was ruled by Sher Shah. But Sher Shah pleaded submission. So Humayun came back to Agra and without actually conquering Sher Shah Suri dynasty. Now Sher Shah Suri got an opportunity. He strengthened his army, which he used later to fight Humayun. Now after conquering Gujarat in 1534, Humayun was very much alarmed by a news. He got a news that Sher Shah captured Bihar and Bengal. He was attacking those kingdoms. Now, he thought that when I attacked him, he pleaded surrender. Now he is attacking Bengal and Bihar. So he planned to capture Bengal and Bihar. He went for fight with Sher Shah Suri in 1539 and 1540. In 1539, he fought Battle of Chausa and 1540 he fought Battle of Kannauj. But as I already told you that his own relatives and brothers were against him. So they deceived him and he was defeated in the battle and Sher Shah Suri acquired the throne of Delhi. After losing the war, he flew away to Iran. He struggled for long 15 years and then with the help of a Persian ruler, he recaptured Delhi and came back in 1555 immediately after the death of Sher Shah Suri. But his reign on Delhi in this second period was not too long. Unfortunately, in 1556, he met with his death when he fell from the stairs of his own library. And after him, his son Akbar acquired the throne. After the demise of Humayun in 1556, the throne was acquired by his son Akbar. He was at very young age. He was only 13 when he acquired the throne. Now, there was Bairam Khan, who was his tutor as well as his Qazi. He looked after the administrative affair of the kingdom. Now, when Akbar acquired the throne, the condition of Mughals were not that powerful in Delhi. So, taking advantage of this, him, commander-in-chief of Adil Shah, he captured Delhi by defeating the governor of Delhi. But in 1556, one battle of Panipat was fought. It was fought between Hemu and Bairam Khan, where Bairam Khan again captured Delhi and Agra by defeating Hemu. Now, after acquiring and establishing himself on the throne in 1560 CE, Akbar started extending his empire. He conquered many territories and his empire extended from Bengal in east to Afghanistan in west, Vindhyas to south and Himalayas to the north. See how much big his kingdom was. Now coming to the policy against Rajputs. What kind of policy Akbar had against Rajputs? Akbar was of mind and he had observed that Rajputs were very loyal and brave. So he thought, why not to have some people from Rajput clan in his army? So now he started following the policy of friendship and marriage alliances with Rajput to get their cooperation. Under that policy, he married daughter of Raja Bihari Lal, one of Rajput Raja, from whom he had son Jahangir. He respected Rajputs a lot and he also gave them the highest position in their kingdom. And for example, Todarmal. Raja Todarmal was revenue minister. Raja Man Singh was one of his confidant as well as his commander of army. But not every Rajput was ready to surrender to his sovereignty. One of the famous one was Maharana Pratap. He was full of pride of being Rajput and he didn't wanted to bow down to any other king. So Akbar sent many persuasion to him to pursue him to surrender, but he did never surrender. So to conquer his territory, Akbar fought battle of Haldi Ghati, wherein he sent his army under the command of Raja Man Singh to have fight with Maharana Pratap. It is said that Maharana Pratap's army was small in number as compared to Akbar's. So he was wounded. But though his army was small, but he fought very valiantly. And finally when he was wounded, he escaped himself and he took a vow that he will not rest, but he will come back. And in his lifetime, he again fought continuously and captured many of his territory, like Chittorgarh. Now, talking about the religious policy of Akbar. It is said that he believed in equality, kindness and tolerance. Tolerance means he had equal respect for all the religions. For it, he established Ibadat Khana in Fatehpur Sikri. Ibadat Khana was used for religious debates and discussion. Akbar was of mind that everyone should respect each and every religion. So, he demanded an order that was in 1582 known as Sul-e-Kul, that was Universal Peace Order. Now, to make harmony between different religions, he established a policy of Din-e-Ilahi. The main focus of it was to create harmony among different religions. I hope you have understood the chapter well, wherein we have discussed about the rule of Akbar. Thank you.